Hi guys, it's been such a long time since I've done this, but for those who follow me on my socials, they know that I've been currently rewatching season 1 of Het Huis Anubis. Why? I really get nostalgic around the winter period, like every year. And one of those things I remember from being a kid is that Het Huis Anubis was always on TV from 2006 until 2011 because we're taking in the 5 as well. Anubis was on TV during the winter period when I was like, as a kid, you're always a little bit sad when it's a winter period because it's school, there's not too much to do, it's cold, you couldn't get outside, and then we had Het Huis Anubis to keep us busy. And like every winter, I'm like, why don't I rewatch it? And usually, when I was subbing the past few years, I was like, nah, I'm not going to rewatch it. That's too much. But now that I'm subbing the 5, I was like, why don't I just rewatch it as Anubis again? Because I've missed it. So let's do it. Now we're about a month further down ahead. I think I started the 8th of January on my rewatch, and I'm currently on the second to last DVD of season 1. But I've decided to talk about season 1 part 1 in this video. And as you can see, this box set has lived through it due to the previous owner and due to me. But let's get the DVDs out. So the first DVD covers the first 16 episodes. I put together in 8 long episodes, and as you can see, as expected, Nienke is on the cover of this DVD. And it's pretty much from when Nienke enters the house for the first episode to give or take when she has involved Fabian into the club and when everything is going down between Mick, Appie and Amber because Jeroen is messing with their relationship and with their friendship. And these 16 episodes, a lot of people usually say that these are difficult to rewatch because everything is quite slow, everything needs time to discover or to be figured out by Nienke and by Fabian or Fabian. But I love the first 16 episodes. I think the whole drama involving Mick, Amber and Appie is a bit annoying at times, but these are teens and they're supposed to be like 16 around here, so it's normal for them to behave like that. But I do enjoy like the tension we feel and when we don't know nothing about the whole mystery, the way that everything goes. I adore that. And also the way Nienke is alone in it. Like in the beginning she's alone, she's new, she's being bullied pretty much, she doesn't enjoy her life there, and I enjoy how she pulls herself through it, how she goes to visit her gran, how we see more side characters a little bit. And yeah, I just adore it. And also just the way we discovered this house at the beginning, because the scene of her turning to the house will forever remain iconic. And I love that they use it in the other version as well, but this one is the most iconic. Because she nails it down, Luke. She really nails it down how Nienke is scared. She doesn't want to be there, but she's excited as well and she's curious because that's pretty much Nienke's character summed up. She's a really shy girl at the beginning. She's kind of mysterious and it doesn't work in her favor with everything that has gone down. I also love how Patricia keeps on discovering everything surrounding Joy's disappearance, even though you later on learn that it's for her own good that Joyce had disappeared. But we don't know that in the beginning, and the idea that everything is involved, like the big mystery and the way the disappearance of Joy fit together, the fact like all of that is connecting in the beginning is like scary. But I do love that we know pretty much nothing, but we get to know these characters really quickly. I'm also happy like that Nienke wasn't bullied for too long. Well, she was by Patricia until like nearly midway season 1. But Amber and Fabian immediately stuck up for her. Mick kinda did as well. He never bullied her except for like the first episode because he just doesn't care about her. Jeroen and Appie just tease her, but they don't bully her later on. And I really, really love that. And Mara, yeah, Mara is just there. I do think, on a friendship note, that Mara was really wrong in the first season because she knows that Mick and Amber have been dating for over a year. It's said multiple times, it's seen on the way Amber has her pictures of, even though they're badly photoshopped. But like, she knows, and she's still crushing on Mick. And there's nothing wrong with having a crush on a boyfriend or a girlfriend of one of your friends as long as you don't act upon it. And Mara clearly does act upon it, even though everyone says she should just drop it. And even though this is a period where Mara isn't really annoying, it does annoy me a lot. Because she's just being a best friend, and she's always pointed out as being the kindest of them all, the sweetest of them all, while she's clearly not. Just saying. But on to DVD 2. And DVD 2 is from episode 17 until 32, and it has Fabian on the cover. Let me see, because I binged these, so I don't remember where it exactly ends. Okay, so we have two main storylines in here. The first one is that Nienke and Fabian discover the rollers or the cylinders with Sarah's message on, and they slowly start discovering more of the mystery, like who she is, what happened, what they're actually dealing with, why everything is this strange. And then Amber finds out, because Amber sees Nienke sneaking away. She sees her sneaking back in when she isn't asleep yet, and she wants to know what happened. And then one of my favorite scenes of the first season happens, and it's pretty much when Nienke tells Amber there's a treasure hidden. The way they use flashbacks, even though it wasn't really necessary at that time to already do flashbacks to the beginning of the mystery, it was amazingly thought out. Because before Het Huis Anubis aired on Nickelodeon, a show called Zoop aired, and Zoop was something completely different. I believe it was a fully Dutch show, no Belgians involved. But it's been a long time, so I don't remember it perfectly. But like, it was about job students or students who wanted to work somewhere during their free time at a zoo. And they cleaned stuff and they did stuff there. And that's pretty much all I remember. But I do remember that the cast was iconic, and two of them are still two of my fave Nickelodeon people ever. And like, that had a big following. I don't know if it had a big following in Belgium, because Nickelodeon came really, well, I think it only aired in Belgium in 2005, while it was already in the Netherlands. But that had a big following, that show. And it wasn't certain that these kids would have the same following, even though they got a bigger following after just half a year. But like, the fact that they already put in like a flashback to the beginning of the episodes very early on in the season, at like episode 30, just to be like, just to be like, well, for those who are only checking in now because they're interested about this mystery they see in trailers and promotions on the show or on Nickelodeon, now they know. And I really like the way they did that. And they did it later on in this season half as well. But that's the main part. And then Amber really gets involved because she begins to really help. But that causes her and Mick's relationship to really go down the drain a little bit, because she isn't really interested in him anymore. Like, she still loves him, but she just gets, well, overwhelmed by the mystery, and she really wants to solve the mystery and get the treasure. And she's more with Nienke and Fabian, causing Mick to be annoyed, of course, which is normal. And besides that, Patricia finds more out about Joyce's disappearance. And this is always a scary part, not anymore, but as a kid it was really scary that Patricia was so hell-bent on finding Joyce that she even wanted to talk to her if she was dead, like with the whole Ouija board, which was the kind of messed up storyline for this early in the show, because at this time the show was rated for kids still, and it has gone up, it has gone down, it was a whole thing, but I've explained that before, I believe. But like, that first of all, then the shaman thing, which was just weird but fun to watch. And then when she suddenly sees Rufus, who has been kind of stalking her ever since he had gone to City Hall for Joyce her details. And the way Rufus so easily convinces her that she can trust him and that she actually trusts him shows how badly Patricia felt being alone in Het Huis Anubis with no one believing her. And I think that's beautiful in a way, that she misses Joyce so much that she would trust a random man who just says something. But it also messed up. But I think there is a lesson in it, because it's kind of shows that you can't trust people who are strangers, and even though they want to help you, they don't really have good intentions at times. That's pretty much it, but I do love the final 2 episodes of these DVDs, and that's when they have to go to the Star Hill because there is the sun goes over the moon. I've forgotten the word for it. And they want to visit that with the class group, but Nienke and Fabian act like they're sick to go out to, hide. Get back the chest with the rollers that they had hidden before because something went wrong on the DAT recorder. And I really, really, really love those episodes because they're fun. We get those first romantic tension moments between Nienke and Fabian as well. But it's clearly, it's obvious that Fabian really wants to be Nienke's boyfriend already, while Nienke's like, no. I hear something, she takes off when he's about to kiss her, and even later on in the season, every time Fabian tries to be a little bit romantic, Nienke's like, no, focus. But we know she's into him as well, and I really love that, and also toward the end, the fact that she's the one who kisses him at the prom really shows that now the mystery is solved as they thought. She wants the same. And I really love that, and they kind of mess it up in the beginning of season 2, but it's a fun ride. But that's pretty much what happens in here. So on to DVD 3 with Amber on the cover. Let me see. The mystery continues, it says in here, and it's episode 33 until 48. So the club finally exists. So the club of the Old Willow has come to life. And this time they really want to continue the story, so they decide that they have to go either to the attic or to the cellar to get to the next clue. Turns out that's wrong, but they do it anyway, and we see the cellar or the basement for the first time. And I love how we didn't see it before, but after that we continuously see it, which means that they hadn't built a set yet in the beginning. And I love how the first time we see the cellar, it's with Fabian going down there, and it looks so scary, but later on, as Victor is just there, it's still fucked up, it's still scary, but this is just this man's hobby room, you could say. But the first time we go down there, it's like, what the fuck? And they learn that Victor is on the tapes of Sarah. And that's why they believe Victor has an elixir of life, which he uses to stay younger. That isn't true, but I do like that they actually went down this path in the English version, but in this version it isn't true, and I just love how they still want to find it, and when they actually find it, it turns out to be cleaning supplies, which nearly kills Oppie, but that's for the final DVD. So yeah, but that's pretty much anything the club does, because it really hits a low point here. They discover things they think is true, but it has nothing to do with the mystery pretty much. It also goes further down with Patricia, because Patricia really believes Nienke is involved in Joyce's disappearance thanks to Rufus, because he draws her the Eye of Horus, which Nienke has in the locket, but it pretty much means the secret society that Van Swieten, Victor, Van Engelen and Jason have. But yeah, she gets it mixed up, which is normal because we as an audience didn't know anything either at that point. But eventually she decides to lure them into a trap when Nienke is sick, and they get there, and then Rufus ends up being there, but he's barely conscious, and Victor drags him into the van. And then they decide to tell Patricia what they know, and Patricia finally trusts them, and especially Nienke. And I like that because Nienke and Patricia's friendship after this is really cute. Patricia always sticks up for Nienke, Nienke always sticks up for Patricia from now on, and it's very obvious early on, and I really, really, really do enjoy that because I love them as a friendship, and I hate that it got ruined after season 2. Because even in season 2, Patricia still asks Nienke certain things, and Nienke's like, if you don't want to be a part of the club anymore, that's fine, as long as you enjoy what you're doing instead. And I really loved that friendship, but then in season 3 it got blown out of the water, and in season 4 it's non-existent. And in the movies, it's non-existent as well, and I really, really, really dislike that. Because I think Luke and Verneri do have chemistry together to be good friends, if they wanted to be. Let me see. Then in these episodes comes a storyline I also despise, and it's the one with the black and white cat. Suddenly, like, plot ploy, they find a black and white cat in the house, and it's around the time they learn that people who tested elixirs back in the day, and I mean really back in the day, tested them on animals like dogs, cats, mice, and so on. And then suddenly a cat appears, and Victor wants that cat, and Amber hears that, and she wants to protect her. And Nienke is suddenly sick because of all the time they spend outside, which is not that weird. And then she takes care of the cat, she falls asleep, Victor gets the cat, and he kills her and stuffs her and puts her in the cellar. Then they involve Trudy because they're like, he puts up animals and they want to like kind of tell her about the mystery as well, which is a stupid ass idea. But anyway, and then she goes down, everything is normal, Victor expected it and he cleaned up everything and the cat is gone. And then it's such an annoying storyline then. Trudy has got fired, she got taken in by Mick's dad, offers her a job, Victor goes crazy and he like nearly traps them, causing Amber to pass out because she doesn't get any food, and then Trudy comes back. And these are like 10 episodes that I don't mind watching, but when they come around I'm always like no, because it has nothing to do with the mystery really, it's just a side plot to get more episodes. And I know this is a show that's about teens and their daily life involving a mystery, and I love that, but these episodes were first of all really scary as a kid. Sorry. And second of all, they were also like not unnecessary, but they didn't really prove a point I would have loved to see. So yeah. And that's pretty much these episodes in this DVD. But then comes a plot I do like, and that's a really short, unnecessary one, but I do enjoy it, and it does show it is. And Victor wants to get payback for them getting Trudy back. So he hides Corvus, calls Conceit, and says one of them have stolen Corvus. Which isn't true, he had just hidden him in the sofa. Or in the couch. And they all have to work together to find Corvus, because if they don't, everything that Victor had decided before Trudy came back stays. So they really have to look together for it. And I just love that storyline because it does show that they are friends. Even though they bicker a lot, even though they fight a lot, they are truly friends. And I just really enjoyed that storyline. It's really short. They eventually find Corvus by Mora, who has a bird allergy, so she sneezes every time she's around him, and that's the way they find him. And then they put him back in Victor's office when Sita comes, and then they're like, you're an old man, you're just a little bit senile. And I just love that storyline, to be honest. Around this time, Mara and Mick are getting more involved as well, but you see it's not really there yet. And Mick is still thinking about Amber, which is quite obvious, and he just wants to focus on a sports scholarship he needs to even get in university, which is never talked about again after season 1. But like, he really wants to become a doctor. We learn in season 2 why, and then he needs a sports scholarship. More about that in the 4th DVD. We'll just continue with that storyline because it's the least interesting one. Mick eventually gets to do the sports scholarship after a lot has gone down, and Mara is very happy for him, but then she sees Mick kind of flirting with the teacher, who is a famous person from Belgium. She was a part of the K3 group here, which is a really popular girls band, so I loved when she appeared back in the day. But of course nothing is going on, he just has an injury. And then Mara just tells that she's jealous and she feels like Mick wants everyone but her, but Mick is interested in her, he just wanted to take things slow. So Mara's overall just a very annoying character in the season. Especially in season 1, part 1, I think she's really annoying. So yeah, that's pretty much their storyline. In the end, they kiss during the play. So it's Patricia on the DVD, by the way. And to continue with Patricia and the club, they really are a club now. They're really together and they figure out more. But then as they continue with the elixir of life, they put it in the medicine cabinet with cough syrup on it. Oppie, who has been traumatized by something he saw in the cellar after pranking them, which is Rufus, by the way, who Victor locked in a box there. takes it because he has a cough because of the panic attack he has, and he nearly dies. And then there's one of those flashback scenes again, which I really, really enjoyed. And they show pretty much, when they think Appie is going to die, how Appie was and how he was with them and how much they like him. And they show all of his and Jeroen's pranks as a little bit of a flashback episode, and I really liked it. Because again, if you are only starting to watch now, you kind of know what a character he was and why they are sad to miss him, and I really, really enjoyed that. Anything else? Let me see. That's pretty much it. After that, Abby gets back to normal, they get out his information, Patricia thinks the joy in the box, but we all know it's Rufus later on. And then the mystery just continues. Fabian discovers that they were wrong when they thought that the riddle meant the attic and the cellar. It were the two, like, bowls? It's not balls. The two things on the top of the stairs with the Eye of Horus on. He turns it open, and one of them includes a cylinder, which Victor takes and hides in his safe. At the same time, they're preparing a musical because it's the winter musical, and they're like, how can we do this? And Amber decides that they have a good story because it has to be about Egypt, and she tells them the mystery pretty much, but without saying names, you could say. And Jason, of course, loves it, doesn't know it involves the mystery at all because he's just taking it into the society. And he just knows about Joyce's disappearance, but we don't know that yet by then. And at that time, they decide to do that. They create this play, the play links in with everything, and then the play actually takes place. And during the play, Nienke, who plays Sarah, decides that she has to go to home or to the house where Victor is now recording everything after everything he's been put through with those children. She has to unlock the safe, she has to listen to the tape, she puts it back in. And so she does. But first, let's talk about the musical. The musical is absolutely amazing. Doing musicals when you're in high school is not really a thing here unless you're part of some club. But when you're in elementary school, it is a thing here. So I have done 2 musicals as well. And they were just like that. They were overly effective. They were terrible, by the way. The story was amazing, but like we kids came back. And it was so much fun to do back then. And it was so much fun to see it on TV at the same time again. But their show is amazing. It's hilarious, it's adventurous, it's quite ridiculous, but it's fun to watch. And I can believe as a real audience would love to watch it. So overall, I really enjoyed that they put it in there. They try to do it again in season 3, but it doesn't even get, because of all the drama, to the actual play. So I love this one a lot more. But like everything that goes down. So in the one time we have the play, we have Joyce who came to visit, who's in the audience. Patricia who kind of knows. Then we have Nienke sneaking back to the house, listening to the cylinder or to the roller and hearing that Victor is the one who murdered Sarah's parents. Which isn't, later on we learn, true, but she does believe that. And then at the same time, Sweeta discovers that Joyce is in the audience and he calls Victor to say we have a code red. But that code red, we learn later on, isn't necessarily for Joyce, it's more for Rufus. And they just want to protect Joy, but we don't know that at the time, so everything is going down. The musical is at the same time going down as well, and it's just amazing to see, and I really adore those final, 5 or 6 episodes? Because they're just they're so good, and the way the book ends, or the first season is with Nienke learning or hearing Victor is a murderer. But in the show, she still bites back. Amber has to step in for her as Sarah, which is hilarious. Then she can still do the final part, but then she cries her eyes out, not for the show, because she has to act as if her parent just died, but just because of what she has learned. And I love it so much. And then the end sequence of the final episode, which is, by the way, these episodes are 49 till 61, so episode 61 of season 1. The ending, it's so good. I mean, just wow. The way Joyce has to escape, and we don't know if she'll make it, and then she hides from Victor, but she's right on time. in a classroom, and then Van Engel is there and she trusts her, but then Van Engel is like, no, Joyce, we have to wait. And I just love that because we don't know what will happen to Joyce, and that's pretty much how season 1, part 1 ends. We later on learn that Joyce was running away for the repercussions that probably her dad will tell her about for sneaking out on such a dire situation and such a stressful time. But like, we don't know if we can trust Van Engelen, Van Swieten, Victor, and I just absolutely love that. And that's how this season half ends. And while the acting, especially in the beginning, is a little bit off, I do think the adult actors had it down from the get-go. But these teens who pretty much had their first acting job here, they were good as well. Luke, even though the way she says stuff at the beginning is a bit like she reads it off a paper, but she does amazing emotionally. Appie is amazing. Mara is amazing. Jeroen is amazing. Fabian is amazing. I think Patricia is amazing. I just think Mick and Amber at the beginning weren't as great, but they got on really, really quick. Like, especially Amber, after like 4 episodes, she had it down. She made this bitchy character her own. Mick took some more time, but to be honest, he was studying to become a cook. He is one now, but to become a cook, he never wanted to act. He was just modeling on the side, and someone was like, hey, do you want to act in this teen show? And he was like, sure. He auditioned and he got the part. So I mean, for never having stood in front of a camera or on a stage or even had acting classes before, was really good for him. But yeah, I just love the season so much, and while it's not ranked on the highest level, well, sorry, that was a shitty sentence, while it's not ranked like high in my top tier list or top list just in general, it was really good looking back at it. And every time I rewatch one of these shows, I learn new things, I understand new adult jokes that weren't meant for our ears back in the day. But it still remains amazing, and yeah, I just love this first season half. And I think one of the reasons I restarted watching this one this year, because I usually don't rewatch the full show, I just rewatch my favorite season, which is usually season 2, but this year I was like, no, season 1, is because the mystery vibe. The vibes of the show, the aesthetic of the show was at its best in the first season. We had the mystery, we had the darkness. It was usually night in most of the mystery scenes, while later on that kind of changes. We had the littlest rooms. We didn't go into the garden until season 2. We didn't go until the garden. We didn't go in the garden until season 2. Like, what the fuck? I never realized until now, and my mom says, hey, she's going out the door, but it doesn't show the garden. I was like, wait, you're right. Like, I adore this, and also the attic is still like this haunted little place that they don't like to go to. Same for the cellar, while later on they're like, just let's get over it with. And the attic is like a new bedroom. The fact that Mara is also still here, even though she's one of my least favorite characters of Het Huis Anubis from the main cast. It just has this vibe. It's a spooky vibe. It's a haunted house vibe. It's a mystery vibe, and I love that, and I appreciate that more. But also the typical mystery song, dun, 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 dun. So that noise, it always gives me chills, and it's not as used as much later on, but it's used too much in season 1. And every time also the dun, dun, so like that sound, I love it, and it's so much in season 1, especially in this first half. So yeah, also the friendships, Mara and Patricia, Appie and Jeroen, Fabian and Meg, are all friendships I really, really enjoy. Honestly, I just do. On to the extras. Where are they written down? Here. So you have, in the beginning of every show, you get a lot of extras. Toward the end, you get barely any extras. So this one got a lot of extras as well. We got the clips. So the music videos of Het Huis Anubis, and hey, the songs. The one of Het Huis Anubis is genius, because you have Nienke slowly going up to the attic, and then you have pictures and images of everything that has happened in this first season half. And I kind of love it, because I remember it very, very vaguely that this was one of the promos they showed on TV. So before the season aired, this was one of the clips or the music videos they showed during commercial breaks of different shows or around that timing, so around 6, 7, 8 p.m. when this used to air. And they were like, yeah, let's get a bit, and it really got me in. Hey, or He is the love song that plays at the end of season 1. And it's pretty much about Nienke and Fabian, but you see different stuff as well. And I usually don't rewatch that video because I've seen it a lot of times. I love the song, but it's overplayed. But then I noticed that they put in same-sex couples, you could say as well, and Studio 100, the creator, or Studio 100, never shied away from doing that. Because now they have at least a gay or lesbian character in every show they make. In every show, nearly. So I really enjoyed that. And they were like, when Appie and Jeroen accidentally kiss, they put in. The girls hugging, they put in. Everyone doing sweet stuff for one another, they put in. And I was like, you go, daring to do this in 2007. Then the last extra on this is the making of, which was also a commercial for the show. So they basically let the actors talk, say who they are, show the behind the scenes, shows around the set, and then at the end it will happen soon. But it's really fast paced. It's quite long for a children's thing because it's like 10 minutes. But it's very enjoyable, and I love to see behind the scenes because we never really got pictures of behind the scenes from them because we had Nickelodeon magazine, but it wasn't as big as the Het Huis Anubis magazines. But yeah, I really, really loved it in general. Yeah, the making of is something very special, and I don't remember seeing it as a kid, but the way they wrote it, I knew it aired back then. But like, yeah, it was so much fun, and I saw there are extras on the season 1 part 2 DVD box as well, the green version of this box. One thing I did never get is why they made a full season 1 box but never did it again, because I would have bought the full season 1 box if it wasn't ugly orange. But no, like, I really enjoy watching this show. It's just amazing, and I really love these characters, and every time I watch it, it just gets better and better, honestly. And I don't think that will ever change for me, because people have said you'll grow out of it when you grow up. I've been in this phase since I can remember. I think watching Het Huis Anubis, and strangely enough, the episode with the cat being stuffed in the cellar is one of those early memories I have, together with a lot of Formula 1 memories. Not that many school memories, to be honest. I really didn't like school. But like the ones with my dad, I have memories. But Anubis is one of those core memories. And I really like that because it shows how much it meant to me and how much it meant or means to me now still. Because I turned 24 this year. I'm getting older. Like, I've passed the age these kids were when they shot this, when they filmed this. I think, yeah, I'm now the age, or I'm going to become the age this year they were when filming the final pieces. So like the final season, the final theater show, the final movies. I'm that age now, and that makes me feel old, to be honest. But it also shows how well the show has aged. Sure, there are stuff being said that didn't age well. The blackface in season 2, which back then wasn't recognized as blackface here at all. We had never heard of this term before until like 2016. Like, that probably didn't age well, but the overall mystery, the overall show, the overall actors, the overall friendships, romances, everything, it aged really, really well, and it's still enjoyable to watch. So yeah, I can't wait to continue season 1 part 2. I'm currently halfway through. I finished the Mick and Mara DVDs, as I like to call them. And I still have the Appie and Jeroen DVD left, and I'm starting the Appie one tonight. And at the moment, I'm where Appie knows about a mystery, and he wants to be initiated in the club, and they're going to do so, but Jeroen kind of keeps him up at night. Well, he wants him to go to sleep, but I think it doesn't have the same effect Jeroen wants to, because Jeroen is getting more and more information surrounding the club and the treasure as well, and he wants to know everything and how Appie is involved. It's easily for him, and then at the same time, the elections for student body president is happening as well. And while everyone is here like, Mara is so kind to you, Amber, don't be a bitch. And believe me, Amber is being a bitch, but Amber is being a bitch to Trudy for no reason, not to Mara. Like, no, Mara deserves it. Sorry, she really does deserve it. First she steals someone else's boyfriend, then she gets pissy and starts crying every time she doesn't get away or when she thinks I'm not pretty enough. And like, you can be insecure, but that's just being a whiny bitch. And then she is mean towards Amber in a way as well, because the moment she gets her way, she's mean to Amber again. Like, sorry, no. So I'm around that point, and they have to organize the team day, which they both have chosen America for, but now it's going to be America and the Middle East. So I'm around that point. So I think these episodes will end with Appie being finally initiated into the club, and then eventually the election nearly being done. I think that's where this DVD will end. But once I've finished it, I will record a video like this as well. But for now, the season is amazing, or the season half. I really, really enjoyed it, and I still rate it an 8 out of 10, to be honest. And I've noticed a lot of people are coming back to the Anubis fandom, and it makes me so happy, because we really were at high in 2020 when I started doing all of these accounts seriously, and now we're 2023. How has it been? Nearly 3 years since I started HHJ Translated. But yeah, and the fandom is still thriving, and I love that. And I love that you guys are still watching these videos. If I sounded weird, I'm sorry, but I have like a small cold, so my nose is being annoying. So I kind of have to talk differently, not to like, yeah, not to inhale too much snot. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time, probably with my review of Season 1 Part 2 of Het Huis Anubis. Bye!